What if I told you within the next decade, several of Europe's most powerful thrones are expected to be ruled by women? Not because of revolution, not because of protest, but because of quiet legal reform that most people barely noticed when it happened. For centuries, European monarchies followed a strict tradition. The eldest son inherited the crown, and even if a daughter was born first, she would step aside the moment a younger brother arrived, because the system was built on male preference primogeniture. That rule shaped royal bloodlines across the continent and reinforced the idea that leadership within the monarchy was naturally male. But in the late 20th century, as European democracies evolved and conversations about the equality grew stronger, several royal houses made a subtle yet powerful decision. They replaced the male preference succession with the absolute primogeniture, meaning the eldest child inherits the throne regardless of gender. It sounded technical, almost administrative, yet it quietly reshaped the future of royalty. In Belgium, the Princess Elisabeth stands first in the line of throne after the country adopted gender-neutral succession in 1991. That reform ensured that birth order, not gender, determines the inheritance. Today, she represents a new generation of royalty, internationally educated, trained in military service, and gradually stepping into the public duties with visibility and preparation. In Netherlands, Princess Catharina-Amalia became her heir apparent when her father ascended the throne in 2013, supported by the succession reforms introduced as early as 1983. She balances the university education with constitutional responsibilities, navigating the royal life in an era defined by the social media scrutiny and public transparency. These heirs are not distinct historic figures waiting in the silence. They are growing up in the real time, in public view, preparing for the roles that are symbolic yet nationally significant. In Spain, Princess Leonor stands first in the line of the throne. Although Spain's constitution still technically includes male preference, the absence of a younger brother secures her position. She has begun the military training and regularly addresses the nation during the official ceremonies, signaling readiness for the leadership within a complex democratic framework. In Norway, Princess Ingrid Alexandra represents another milestone in this continental shift. Norway adopted absolute primogeniture in 1990. And today, she trains with the Norwegian military while carrying out official engagements. In a country often associated with the progressive values, the monarchy's succession system now reflects the same commitment to equality. Across these nations, a pattern is emerging. The next generation of monarchs is increasingly female, and this is not accidental. It is a result of institutional reform aligning the tradition with the modern expectations. What makes this transformation powerful is not that Europe has never had queens before, because it has. What makes this historic is that the future queens are inheriting it by default, not by exception. They are not ascending because there were no sons available. They are inheriting because the law now treats daughters and sons equally. Modern European monarchies do not function as political power centers in the traditional sense. They operate as constitutional institutions built on continuity, diplomacy, and public trust. Their legitimacy depends less on authority and more on symbolic representation. By reforming the succession laws, these monarchies signal that even centuries-old institutions can adapt without losing their identity. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is how quietly it unfolded. There were no dramatic palace protests, no constitutional breakdowns, no global headlines announcing a royal revolution. Instead, a change came through the parliamentary votes and legal amendments. And only decades later are we witnessing its visible impact. Within a generation, Europe may see multiple reigning queens across Belgium, Netherlands, Spain, Norway, and not as rare historical moments, but as natural outcome of reform. History often feels dramatic when we look back at it. Yet in real time, it can move silently, shaped by the decisions that appear small but transform the institutions over decades. Europe's monarchies are not disappearing, they were adapting, and in doing so, they are reflecting a broader societal shift towards equality while preserving the tradition. The crowns may remain same, the palaces may still stand, but the future they represent look different. The next chapter of European royalty may not be written by kings, it may be written by queens. If you enjoy stories that unpack the quiet global shift shaping our world today, please subscribe.